The chair now recognizes the ranking member for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And the good gentleman from California certainly knows, because he was a student of mine, that lawyers go to court and sometimes they win motions and sometimes they lose motions, and there's no crime in any of that. And I'm just sorry that you had to be lectured about humility and restraint by a politician, because we might not be best poised to lecture you on those particular virtues. But let's go to the toll record, since that's been raised, Mr. Smith. First of
all right, you just saw that. Jamie Raskin going after Jack Smith, defending subpoenas for toll records, waving around Supreme Court precedent, and basically saying, nothing to see here, folks. Move along. Now let me give you the Freedom's Voice take on what's really going on. Before we dive in, welcome back to Freedom's Voice. If you care about this country, the Constitution, and holding power accountable, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell me if you think this investigation is about justice or about politics. Your voice matters here.
First of all, Congress has allowed toll records to be subpoenaed. This committee has actually tried to limit it over the years, and the senators who are whining the most over on the Republican side in the Senate, they never went along with our determination to try to limit the government's ability to subpoena toll records. So it's perfectly lawful what you did. Explain, why did you want those toll records?
We wanted to conduct a thorough investigation of the matters that was assigned to me, including attempts to interfere with the lawful transfer of power. The conspiracy that we were investigating, it was relevant to get toll records to understand the scope of that conspiracy, who they were seeking to coerce, who they were seeking to influence, who was seeking to help them.
And that's normal investigative practice, right?
In conducting a criminal investigation, securing non-content toll records, as you described, is a common practice in almost any complex conspiracy.
Okay, let's go to something else that I've been hearing over the last week by our colleagues as they've eagerly anticipated your arrival here. They've been saying that there's some kind of First Amendment defense that Donald Trump would have had to the crimes you indicted him for. Is there a valid First Amendment defense to defrauding the public? Is there a valid First Amendment defense to disrupting a federal proceeding? Is there a valid First Amendment defense to violating the voting rights of the people and cheating the public out of a fair election?
The First Amendment is something that we took seriously in our investigation. But the First Amendment does not protect speech that facilitates a crime. Speech that is used to facilitate a crime, a fraud crime in particular, is not protected under the First Amendment. The Supreme Court precedent on that is clear. This is an issue that we litigated before the district court, and the district court ruled, as I just stated, that it is not in fact protected.
And the case law is perfectly clear on this, right? All frauds are perpetrated by speech, right?
Yes.
All conspiracies are perpetrated by speech. So just because your criminal conduct is brigaded with speech doesn't somehow mean you've got a First Amendment defense against trying to overthrow the government. I mean, the people who attacked the police officers on January 6th were chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." I suppose that was political speech, or they were saying, "Stop the steal." Does that mean they've got a First Amendment defense to violent assault against the officers?
It does not.
William Barr, by the way, was somebody who was perfectly clear about that. Donald Trump's own attorney general said, there's no freedom of speech that you have to engage in a conspiracy, to overthrow an election, to commit crime. He was perfectly clear about that. Back in those days, in fact, lots of people on that side of the aisle, including my good friend, the chairman, denounced the violence that took place on January 6th. The cat's got their tongue these days. My friend Chairman Jordan said, what happened last week was terrible, was tragic. It's as wrong can be, he said. Republicans, we know all political violence is wrong. I asked my friend Sherman Jordan at a rules hearing, are you also not interested in what happened to us on January 6th? He said, of course, everyone's interested in holding people accountable who did wrong. The FBI is doing that. The Justice Department is doing that, appropriately so. What do you think about the attack on the Department of Justice and the Special Counsel for doing your jobs?
I think the attack is unjustified. I think the people who worked with me as career public servants are people, they're part of the reason I've been a prosecutor for so long is to work with people like that, not just the prosecutors in my office, but also the agents, FBI agents who are heroes, who have served their country not only as agents, but also overseas. I think those attacks are unwarranted based on the facts, and I think that they have no basis in who we are as Americans, as a country. I don't see attacking people like that as anything appropriate.
Thank you, and Mr. Chairman, I yield back to you.
Now, watching that exchange, here's what stands out to me as a right-wing patriot. Raskin keeps insisting that subpoenaing toll records is routine and perfectly lawful. And sure, on paper, toll records can be used in criminal investigations. Nobody on our side is saying investigators can't ever use records. That's not the real issue. The issue is selective enforcement and politicized prosecution. What Americans see, and what Raskin refuses to address, is that this level of aggressive scrutiny seems to apply only in one direction. When it comes to Donald Trump, suddenly every tool is fair game, every theory is creative, and every precedent is stretched to the limit. But when it comes to Democrats, leaked classified documents, influence peddling, or election irregularities, we're told to calm down and trust the system. Raskin also leans hard on this argument that the First Amendment doesn't protect speech that facilitates a crime. Again, that's technically true in narrow circumstances. Fraud is not protected speech, but here's the problem. Speech is being retroactively framed as criminal. Political speech, legal arguments, challenges that went through courts. That's a dangerous road. Every conspiracy involves speech. Yes, that's true. But not every speech-based disagreement or challenge to government authority is a conspiracy. If questioning an election, consulting lawyers, or telling supporters to protest becomes criminalized, then the First Amendment isn't being defended, it's being hollowed out. And let's talk about the attacks narrative. Raskin claims the DOJ and Special Counsel are being unfairly attacked. From our perspective, criticism of government power is not an attack on democracy, it is democracy. These are not kings or priests. They are public servants, and they answer to the people. If they're going to prosecute a former president and current political opponent of the ruling party, they'd better expect intense scrutiny. What frustrates patriots is the double standard. The DOJ wants total trust while acting in ways that erode public confidence. You don't restore faith in institutions by telling people to shut up and stop asking questions. You restore faith through fairness, transparency, and equal application of the law. At the end of the day, this isn't about toll records or legal technicalities. It's about whether the justice system is being used as a weapon in a political war. And millions of Americans believe it is. That's why we speak up. That's why channels like Freedom's Voice exist. If you agree, hit like, subscribe, and share this video. And if you disagree, comment anyway. I want to hear from you. Freedom of speech doesn't belong to one party, it belongs to the people.